What's up, guys? Today we're going to be messing around some more with the Mr. Beer kit. We are going to be putting together the Long Play IPA recipe, and let's see what this puppy can do. So if you missed a couple weeks ago, I did a full unboxing of what's included in this kit. The Long Play IPA was the recipe that came in the kit, and today I want to take it from start to finish, show you exactly how they want it made per the instructions, and see how this beer actually turns out. So there are a ton of videos out there over improving the Mr. Beer kit, over adding fresh ingredients or boosting the ABV, and that's not today's video. There are plenty of videos out there, references that you can use to do that on your own. Today I really just want to see what the Mr. Beer kit can do, so I'll be following the instructions to the letter, or at least best to my ability to the letter, and just to see how this beer turns out. Step one in your instructions is putting together the keg. The only assembly really required is the spigot, so I'll put that on real quick and then we'll get back at it. So I got the spigot on. The second step is just testing to make sure that it holds water. You don't want to be a week in and find that your water is spilling everywhere. So I'll go fill this about halfway up with water, and we'll let it sit for some of the other stuff that we're gonna do. And I'll bring some warm water out for the next steps. We got about halfway full of water, and we'll let this sit for about 15 minutes just to make sure that's a good seal, and then we'll come back and start on sanitizing your equipment. So 15 minutes later, we're gonna start sanitizing. Per the instructions, we're gonna fill this up to the initial mark. I know you can't see it on camera. I'll show a picture or something. We're gonna fill it up to line 1, and then we're going to pour half the sanitizing no rinse solution into we're gonna pour half this thing in here, get it all nice and clean, and then we're gonna sanitize all our equipment. All right, I swapped this out with some fresh warm water. At this point, we're gonna add our no rinse cleanser, and we're gonna get stuff sanitized. And kind of a neat design. You'll hear it as air escapes, as it builds up while you're swishing this around. I didn't realize until I started reading the directions a little bit more closely. In the actual lid, or in the area around the lid, they put tiny ventilation escapes. So, and then that was something I'd been thinking about, just a cool little tidbit that, you know, what's gonna happen as the yeast is releasing gas? Is it just gonna build up in there, and because it's plastic it'll expand? Well, no, they counted for that, and they put little slots in there. Just a neat little tidbit I found out. All right, so next they want you to sanitize the spigot. Just run some water through it. In this case, into my nifty bowl. Important note to beginners, this is a no rinse cleanser. You start rinsing this out thinking you're gonna get all that cleaner out. You're just gonna introduce new bacteria, and it just kind of defeats the purpose of what this is doing. It's not gonna harm you, and it's not gonna harm your brew. So we need to let this sit for about 2 minutes. Your yeast packet. And it recommends you get this warm in some warm water. I'm just gonna use the same cleanser water. I mean, it's all being cleansed anyway, so doesn't really matter in my opinion. I'll just set that in there, and the point of that is just to get this nice and loose. It's kind of like honey. When it's cold, it's really sticky and doesn't really viscous. It doesn't come out very easily. Get it warmed up, and it'll just come out a lot smoother, be easier to get it all into there. So I'm gonna set this in here, and we'll leave it there. So while that's getting warm, while this is sanitizing, what I'm going to do is take you guys in very briefly. We're gonna get a kettle of water. It recommends 4 cups. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. Get 4 cups boiling in a kettle. So I'll get that boiling, and then we'll bring it back out here. It's kind of a pain to keep doing this, but it's much easier to film out here than it is in the house. So we'll get a kettle boiling, and then we'll come right back here. All right, so we took a kettle, I brought it up to boiling in the kitchen. At this point, we're going to pop open our extract. All right. Nice and syrupy. You can really smell that that barley, that malt. Looks good. All right. So we're gonna add it to our hot water, get it all nice and stirred up. So at this point, they want you to fill up your keg with water. We're gonna get this in there. Now the goal of this is to cool down your wort. Get this all nice and mixed up. And now we want to take some additional water and fill her up to the second line, which is the 2-gallon mark. I'm gonna get that all stirred up. A lot of stirring, I know. I'm not an expert at home brewing. I like to talk to people that brew. I like to drink beer, but I'm not an expert at home brewing. But we're stirring so much, and it encourages you to vigorously stir because you want to introduce oxygen at this point. You want to get as much oxygen into your home brew or your wort or whatever you want to call it, so that way throughout the fermentation, there's plenty for the yeast. Now, we'll take this guy, which is our yeast packet. Get our yeast in there. And then at this point, we'll just screw on the lid. Tells me not to stir at this point. Not sure of the reasoning behind that. Maybe, I'm not even gonna guess. Anyways, so we got the lid back on. I think we're done at this point. So the instructions say to wait 10 to 14 days. We'll keep this in my basement at a temperature controlled area out of the light, and we'll come back. So at this point, it's been about 3 weeks since we first filled the keg, and it's time to bottle. One of the huge pluses for the design of this keg is that it has a recessed area at the bottom, so when you're pouring into the plastic bottles, you're pouring above the loose and dead sediment from the yeast. Normally you'd have to rack your wort, put it in another container. This eliminates all that, and it's a huge convenience time saver. After you fill your bottles and put the caps back on, you put your 2 drops of carbonation sugar into each bottle, and you put it back in a container to sit for 2 weeks. And then you try it. So now it's time to try this. Cole here, he probably suspects a little bit, but I haven't told him what this is, what's in it, what went into it. or where it came from. So we're gonna treat this as a normal review. He's going into this blind, and I'll try and stay as unpartial as possible.
Okay. A little amber. A little brown ale. What we got here? Dude.
Yeah, let's jump into this. So first off, what do you think of the color? Go ahead. No, I'll let you go first.
I mean, it looks dark. When you originally poured it, before it had so much in it, it looked kind of like I don't know, like a ambery brown. I guess that's what I got.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a soda pop colored liquid right now, unfortunately.
Smells metallic-y.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Belgian.
I could see that. Yeah, there's a little bit of like the metallic can almost might seem like a banana-y type smell.
Yeah. How to drink it, or are we waiting?
And just to add to what you were saying, almost like unfermented malt, or like a sweetness to it. Okay, let's see what we think here.
I get black licorice and like maybe clove or something. Black licorice and clove.
I'm letting you lead the way.
And a little bit of bitterness. I don't know what the hell it is. Is it like a black IPA or something?
I'm getting some of the similar, like
it's like tar.
A little bit of hoppiness at the end, not very much at all. That same Belgian-y characteristic that we were smelling.
I hate when I can smell like metal.
Metallic. I smell that a lot.
Because then I can taste metal, but I don't really taste metal in this, so that's good. It's not a style I drink very often, whatever it is. I'm gonna say it's like a black IPA or a dark amber or something. I don't know.
So let's do a rough rating. Obviously, we don't know what it is or what it was supposed to be, but I mean, what do you think of it just off of your own tastes?
On a scale?
On our traditional scale of bad, decent, good, fantastic.
I'd say decent. I'd drink it.
Yeah. I'm in line with you. Even knowing what it is, decent's good. Decent's good. Decent's a good rating for me, and I think it's not like stand out great, not even memorable, but it's not bad.
It's a beer you can crack open and drink while the game's on.
Mm-hmm. So this is Long Play IPA from Mr. Beer Kit.
IPA?
All right, so I'm just gonna read off this because it's too much to remember to say.
You brewed this?
Yes, this is from the Mr. Beer Kit that I unboxed in a previous video. I'll put that up somewhere.
Explains the soda bottle that you
So what it's supposed to be is with its golden caramel color, floral aromas, and signature IPA intense bitter finish.
So what kind
do you get any of that?
Style? Just straight IPA?
Just a straight IPA.
All right, hold on. Let's see if I get a floral. What was the other note?
Golden caramel color, floral notes.
Say golden. I would say.
I don't think golden at all.
Burnt caramel, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little floral. Definitely the bitterness.
Just that Belgian characteristic, but it's not floral to me.
A little bit. A little bit of like flower petal-y.
Realizing this is $30 and it made 2 gallons of beer. What do you think?
I'd drink it. I'd be interested to see like what other recipes they have. The only thing, if I remember right from the original video, it was fermented in. I mean, I ferment in plastic too, but it's just something about it being in plastic that long I don't like. But other than that, and then it's sitting in plastic in the bottle. It's just, but I drink soda or pop out of the bottle.
That sits for months and then
a hot truck and then so whatever.
And for $30, I mean,
that's a deal. How much is the kit?
The whole kit, $31.
It comes with the fermenter.
Yeah.
Get you some of that.
And then obviously for $31, it's not a fantastic level beer, but it is decent. It's drinkable.
Quantity, not quality.
And it's something that you made yourself. You could probably take this to your friends somewhere and hey, I made this beer. You don't have to tell them it's Mr. Beer Kit, but it's besides the point. Well, Thanks for doing this with me, bud.
I don't know. Belgian IPA, that's what I'm calling it. A Belgian black IPA. That's what it is.
Well, to me, I think it almost didn't ferment all the way. Like that, like when I was saying unfinished malt, like maybe it didn't ferment all of that out.
Like the liquid malt that you pour in it?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's worth it.
Yeah, so thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure you hit a subscribe button, because
Smash it.
Smash it.
Smash something.
All right, cheers, bud.
Okay. Thanks for the beer.
Yeah. I got 15 more of these.